Devani Monroe for MissFabulous.com. Born and raised in New York with a cultural heritage in India, designer Kirat Anand grew up with a passion for fashion. But before following that passion, Kirat took another route. Kirat attended NYU and worked in finance before finally following his heart and pursuing a career in fashion. In 2006, Kirat teamed up with his mother designer Sabi Anand and founded KAS New York. Combining bohemian designs with an urban sophistication, KAS New York bridges Kirat's New York sensibility with the rich culture of his Indian heritage. As a nod to this merging of cultures, Kirat Anand presented his KAS New York Fall 2014 collection at the Indian Consulate on New York's Upper East Side. We spoke to Anand at the presentation to find out more about this fascinating collection. New York Fashion Weekend. We are at the Indian Consulate in New York City with Kirat Anand, who is the designer and owner and creator of KAS New York. Before we talk a little bit about this particular collection, can you tell us a little bit about the company? I know that you were a financial analyst,
yes,
and then you got into fashion.
Yes.
How did that all come about?
It was very unconventional, but being a first generation, parents probably wanted me to pursue different paths. One could be a doctor, lawyer, investment banker, so I chose the latter. And at the end of the day, it wasn't my passion. Always been geared, driven and interested in fashion. So I think everyone finds their way home.
For this collection, Fall 2014, what was the inspiration?
It's really, that's the question everyone asks. And that's the question, sometimes it's very difficult to define the spirit and the soul of a collection. For me, it could be by travel, it could be by art, it could be by interest. But this time it was more about texture, more about monotone, more about layering, it was more about the season. a very, you can never have enough black in your collection. So you'll see a lot of black, you'll see a lot of gray hues. But then on top of that, you'll see the essence of KAS, which is color. You'll see my berries, you'll see my hunters, and you'll see my detailing. So there wasn't one specific defining moment that inspired or that created a collection, but like anything else I do, I wanted it to be very aspirational but attainable.
And what were the important fabrics in the collection?
That's a very good question. And for fall, the important fabrics are leather, they're suede, they're wool, they're tweed, they're silks, and those are the incorporations that we've used. Again, we use a lot of different types of organzas and detailing and trimming, but the core fabrications are those.
You're a New Yorker, but your roots are in India. How has that influenced your design?
It's the soul, it's the spirit of the collection. So, and that was why we wanted to bring it to the Indian consulate. Because if anyone sees my collection, they could say it was designed and created anywhere. But there's certain aspects of each that you can see the Indian influence. If it's the detailing, if it's the embroidery, if it's the beading, if it's in the intention to the mixed media. So the playing with the fabrications, India's known for this. It has great craftsmanship for years and years. And when the Consul General approached me and said we should do something together, I said it's a no-brainer, because even though we're not Indian per se, there's so much Indian in us.
Well, that is your heritage, so to speak.
Yes.
from India myself, and I can see everything in the collection. Even though it's very Western, very modern, it has a little bit of that influence, of course knowing your background, and I think it meshes very beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, congratulations on a beautiful collection, and looking forward to seeing more from you.
Likewise. Thank you, and hope you're having a good time.